Hello, and welcome to my Honors Art Exhibition talk about the show entitled A Song We Used to Know. I was very excited to be able to have my first solo exhibition with a body of work I've created over the last 2 years. This show is a culmination of my senior project through the honors program at MVNU. It includes a selection of photographs, projections, and poetry of windows, exploring how everyday spaces can function as a place setting for divine communion through light and form. Below you will find a link to an online photo gallery, including the files and a documentation of my show, which you are free to look through at your leisure throughout the time I discuss the work. The work was installed in the Schnormeier Gallery in downtown Mount Vernon, Ohio, from March 9th through the 19th. Due to the rapidly changing precautions surrounding COVID-19, my scheduled talk and presentation of my work had to be canceled. However, because my work was in the Schnormeier Gallery during the 10 people or less mandate, I was still allowed to give individual tours during the first week of the show. In hindsight, I was actually very thankful for the ability to show my work on a more individual basis, because it allowed the work to inhabit a more reverent and intimate space. Each viewer that came through was able to have a personal encounter with the work that felt more true to my experience of the moments within each photograph than a large gathering may have felt. This body of work is a collection of images curated from 2 or 3 years' worth of moments that I experienced. I am often inspired by the way that light interacts with human-made structures, and these photographs and videos are an attempt to hold these moments in time. I started structuring it as a body of work when I began to see a thread of similarity between each of the images as I collected them over the last couple of years. The main question I asked through the beginning of the process was this: how does our sense of place connect us to each other and to our spirituality? This exploration became one of increasing value, not only because we generally live in such an individualized culture, but also in light of the current events surrounding COVID-19. It is imperative for each of us to recognize the essential value of community and connectedness, and to live in light of that. This is exactly what the work brought to light. Each of the photos were taken by my Google Pixel phone. As a photographer, I'm used to searching for compositions and setting aside specific times to capture images. However, the nature of this collection was that I was not engaging in a conscious effort to create imagery at the time that the photos were taken. Rather, they were times that I didn't expect to encounter beauty, and the serendipity of the moment allowed me to fully appreciate the divine presence as I journaled it in the visual space of my phone's photo gallery. They are a collection of moments from 5 countries and 14 cities total, including images from the following locales: Havana, Cuba; Hyderabad, India; Florence, Italy; Manila, Philippines; Phoenix, Arizona; Chicago, Illinois; Rockville, Maryland; Cleveland, Ohio; Mount Vernon, Ohio; Navarre, Ohio; Worcester, Ohio; Philadelphia, Pennsylvania; Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania; and York, Pennsylvania. The significance of the places represented in these images speaks to the ubiquitous nature of light and the indiscriminate company it keeps. I consider these images a portrait of the people I experienced that place with as well. Each of the images have a story to tell. They tell of an experience I had in a place that was home, if only for a short period of time. Each were moments I did not expect to encounter, and that I did not particularly consciously compose. They remain unedited. I was interrupted in my day-to-day life as the light met me where I was. I simply took the time to acknowledge it and capture it. The light met me at a retreat center, a friend's apartment, a conference center hotel, a childhood bedroom, a guest room, and so on. When curating the images for this show, I gravitated towards imagery of windows to enhance the metaphors present within the concept of home and connection. Windows are in, they're out, they're a barrier, yet a point of connection. They reveal and they obscure. They present a duality of reality. They can be looked at and looked through. They are distinctly human. They protect, but they also threaten. They let sunlight in, yet reflect sunlight out. When it is daytime, light pours inside. When it is nighttime, light shines from within. They suggest presence and the act of looking. They prompt investigation. They set scenes and frame compositions. They are selective. They remain constant as the realities on either side of them change. They can be expressive or purely functional. They offer clarity and they offer obscurity. This project as a whole is a window into my visual perspective and thoughts, and therefore becomes a symbol for myself as well. Windows point to humanity behind them, and thus we are inherently implicated in the presentation of the kinds of images I collected. The gallery allows the viewers to enter into the same reflection space that I occupied as I first encountered the light. These photographs serve as a journal space that I share with those who engage with it. They capture my contemplation of our interaction with light and the spiritual encounters that we have if we allow it to speak into our lived experience of the world in our everyday life. In addition to visual mediums, my personal studio practice has included the writing of poetry as well. In the article entitled How Reading Makes Us More Human by Karen Swallow Pryor, she discusses how the act of reading is something that makes us profoundly human because of the way that literature is able to develop empathy. Reading connects to our moral and spiritual selves as we experience the world through another person's perspective. Pryor's view on the act of engaging with literature and its ability to fundamentally change the way we interact with each other is something that allowed me to further reflect on how we relate to one another and feel a sense of connection. We are inherently connected, but poetry is something that further allows the viewer of my art to be able to connect with me through the use of creative writing as a supplement to visual imagery. Since being in quarantine, I've still been paying attention to the light that I encounter in my home as this unprecedented experience unfolds. Light and the experience I have of God in those moments is constant, and my hope in sharing my gallery online is to invite those who see it to frame their daily lived experience in the light. Being fully present within the spaces I occupy has allowed me the opportunity to view my surroundings the way I would if I were in a waiting room. It is a kind of cognitive awareness that as you lean in, it prompts you to become continually more aware of what is immediately around you. This comes with recognizing life as it is, with all its beauty and majesty, and even the small moments of light ribbons on a curtain. I'd like to end my talk with a reading of the poems included in the gallery. Petal down, and around the tabletop, your scattered lilac lullaby sings to you sweetly, one last tired melody. Do you hear it? Farewell fanfare. Inspiration almost always strikes when light seems to be low. I find the whispers strongest with the sunset's afterglow. I find the words I cannot hear when last of light gives way to secret shadows buried here in the restful end of day. Even in uncertainty. Can you even imagine all the ways you'll grow when you truly, finally, wholly let go? Can you even fathom the light that lingers here, patiently, continually, driving out your fear? There's healing here too. It's everywhere. I sat in a forgotten field and bathed in the warm rays of spring almost come. It wasn't long before the rays turned to clouds, and I gazed as the dark haze rolled in. I felt the way the breeze switched. I wanted to stay, to feel the drops fall on my freckled skin, but you caught my eye across the way. Have you ever matched the pace of clouds above your head, caught in the momentum of wherever they're being led? There was a break in the clouds, and I saw it. Echoes of a sunset somewhere, blues melting into pinks as the rain picked up speed. But there was a break in the clouds, and I saw it. You were singing sweetly over me. Lovely still. You thought you saw me for who I was. How could you, when I still don't even know who I am? You see me somehow, buried as I am, between rubble, sand, and stone, swallowing me, the aftermath of anxiety, the debris of doubt and fear. Somehow you found me. Where was I? You are dissonant against my aching. You sing the sweet notes of hope. I am found again. I know who I am, somehow. A sunset I couldn't see was setting all around me. When the days are shorter and the light grows dim, and the light grows dim, your voice, it whispers over everything, over everything. Typical, at first I miss it in the fading light, in the fading light. But then I catch your breath and I turn my eyes, I turn my eyes. There's whispers in the ordinary. There's a steady stream of subtle communication of a song we used to know. I start to sing sometimes and fumble with the words that don't belong to me. They float within and out of grasp and land in moments of intangibility. Here in the leaves, here in the tickle of cool wind, here in the gentle exhale, here in the sunlight's warmth. Do you hear it too? There's a woven thread of our own consciousness, embedded in the very things around us. Thank you for your time in listening to my presentation. I'll be available to address any questions in the comment section below. Thanks.